Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Louise. I'm here to present a case study. Welcome to my esteemed colleagues and guests. Our case study is about a girl who's 14, obese. Her BMI is 28, which puts her into that category. She makes some extremely poor dietary choices, which I'll show you shortly. She leads a sedentary lifestyle, not participating in activity other than what is mandated by the school, so PE classes 2 or 3 times a week. There are some genetic or familial contributors that we need to consider when we look at Jane's overall health. The family struggles to make ends meet during the month, so we need to investigate programs and other avenues for them to make sure that they are not food insecure at the end of the month. And Jane lives with her parents and her 2 younger siblings, so we don't know what the siblings' status is at this point, but as we know, what happens in a family is in a family, so we will consider those children as we talk. There are some, as you can see, the parents are both obese. The mother was recently diagnosed with hyperlipidemia, and the father has been struggling with type 2 diabetes for most of his adult life. I'll let you take a look at this for a minute. This is Jane's 3-day dietary recall. As you can see, Jane makes questionable choices, a lot of fast food. So the first problem is the amount of calories she eats. She's eating about 3,000 calories a day. A child of her age and height needs about 1,800 calories a day, so she is way over that. Her protein intake is low. She's unlikely to get a severe protein deficiency because she does eat some every day, but she needs to increase her protein to support her growth and development and all the other functions in her body. Her calcium level is concerning. She really doesn't eat much calcium except some ice cream and carton chocolate milk. This is the time in her life when she has accelerated bone growth, the only time in her life, and she really needs to increase her calcium intake to prevent osteoporosis and brittle bones in her future. As we know, calcium is essential for bone development and for teeth and for many of the other processes in the body. As you can see, Jane eats a lot of saturated fat, which of course is worrisome for all of us. Too many saturated fats in the diet is the leading cause of cardiovascular disease. We are seeing in children vessel and cardiac damage where 20 years ago it was unheard of in children. It was only in adults. Her sugar intake is especially worrisome, especially in light of the fact that her father has type 2 diabetes. Over intake of sugar on a consistent basis can lead to metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, and of course type 2 diabetes. Again, something we did not used to see in children, which we are doing so now. Jane's sodium intake is high. In a child her age, it's unlikely to create any damage, but a lifelong habit of eating too much sodium, especially in conjunction with the sugar and the saturated fat, can lead to hypertension, cardiovascular disease. So we need to rein that in. So here are Jane's labs. As you can see, they are generally normal. Her sodium level is on the higher end of normal. Her glucose is a little over the upper limit of what we'd like to see. And her LDLs, low density lipoproteins, are also on the high end. With her mother's history of hyperlipidemia, we need to watch this very carefully because it sets Jane up for developing the same. All right, so proposed diet. I have given some suggestions, 3 per meal and a snack, including proteins, some carbohydrates, fruits, whatever you can see that. Jane really likes her coffee in the morning. She likes it with half and half and a tablespoon, 3 teaspoons of sugar. So I have changed her over to fat-free half and half so that she can still enjoy her coffee and have reduced her sugar intake considerably. And as much as she may not want to admit it, she will get used to the change in taste. Some lunches, a lot of salad. I want her to make sure she eats a lot of vegetables, obviously, with some protein in there. I have encouraged her to use olive oil base as her instead of prepared salad dressings, which we know are high in vegetable oils and sugars. So an olive oil based salad dressing is going to behoove her. And I have not made her give up all her sweets. So she does have a couple of ginger snap cookies here and there, which in the scope of things are not a bad cookie to eat. And I have encouraged her to drink as much water as she wants, or unsweetened tea, some sort of calorie-free, sugar-free beverage. Water being, of course, the one we like to encourage the most. She can also try sparkling water with a little splash of juice in it if she wants to go that route. Dinners, again, protein, vegetables, and a little bit of sweet because she is 14 and you can't just deny her everything. Again, lots of water. Snacks, something to tide her over. Tide her over between lunch and dinner. Some protein, some vegetables, a little bit of yogurt here and there. Again, lots of water. If she wants hot tea, she can drink it hot, but she should drink it without adding sugar or milk to it. All right, other things to consider. If Jane is going to make some lifelong dietary changes, it has to be a family affair. Jane is too young to be on her own, and her parents are the primary shoppers and preparers of the food. I have encouraged Jane to participate in both those activities. There are some classes at the community center, so Jane and her mom, or Jane and her dad, can go and take some classes and learn some quick, simple meal preparation. There are some really good cookbooks out there they can borrow from the library about cook-ahead meals, like crock-pot meals, or something you can cook ahead and eat later, if that's a help to them. The finances need to be addressed. We are looking into getting Jane's family to apply for SNAP benefits so that they can add that to their grocery budget. There is a local farmers market once a week within walking distance of Jane's home, so I'm encouraging them to participate in that, and that will also allow them to experiment with a variety of different fruits and vegetables. There is a curbside market that comes to Jane's school one afternoon a week, so I've encouraged Jane to go in there and look and see what kind of fruits and vegetables they have, and then go to her cookbook and see what might be a good way to prepare them. There is a local food bank in Jane City. If the family feels like they need to access that, they certainly can. And maybe Jane's parents need to sit down with their accountant and really discuss their finances, because maybe there are some priorities that they can change so that they don't feel food insecure at the end of the month. Maybe there's some other ways to cut back on their spending. Activity is really critical. Long-term weight loss happens, yes, with dietary changes, but activity is a really, really important component of that. So I've encouraged Jane and her parents and her siblings to find an activity or some activities that they like, that they can participate in together. They can all take a walk after dinner or go bike riding or swimming at the local pool or whatever they like. But they have to prioritize it and make time for activity every day. It is not something you can just do when you have the time, because it's not going to happen. So that is something that they are working on. I do worry about the emotional toll on Jane growing up as a overweight teen. Kids can be brutal, as we know. It's been shown that adults who have grown up as overweight and bullied teens tend to be more depressed, more socially isolated, have fewer friends, tend to be more sensitive. And so I want Jane to feel better about herself and not be subjected to the bullying that is likely happening to her in her school. So that is that, and thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.